Okay, picture this. It's Tuesday morning. You wake up, the alarm goes off, and you just look around.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, everything looks fine. You're paying the bills, you're moving forward, you're, you know, checking all the boxes society told you to
Yeah.
check.
Right.
But internally, you feel like you are waking up in a fog. You look at the map of your life and you realize you have absolutely no idea where you are.
Or worse, you feel like you're a passenger in your own life.
A passenger driving 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction.
It's that universal dissonance, isn't it? The gap between your resume and your reality. And frankly, that is a terrifying place to be.
And that is exactly where we are planting the flag today. We are doing a deep dive into a really fascinating text. It's a lyrical analysis of the track Searching by the artist Kieran The Light.
I love this.
Now, usually on this show, we're looking at, business journals, psychological studies, historical biographies. But today, we're treating these lyrics as a primary source document.
Yeah, which is my favorite way to work, honestly. Because when an artist, especially in this genre, strips away the posturing and the bravado, what you're left with is just a raw confessional case study.
Oh.
We aren't here to critique the beat or the flow or the production. We're looking at this text as a manifesto of the modern human struggle.
And it really is a struggle that's happening on multiple fronts at the same time. It's not just one problem. It feels like a siege.
Exactly. We're looking at a man at war on, I think, 3 distinct battlefields. He's fighting the concept of time, he's fighting his own family history, and most brutally, he's fighting his own reflection.
It's messy, it's contradictory, and it's so vulnerable. So our mission for this deep dive, we're going to dissect this search for direction. We're going to figure out why, even when we have the map, we still somehow manage to drive the car straight into a ditch.
Which is actually where the text begins on the road.
Right. Let's get into that first section, the anxiety of time. The text opens with this high-velocity imagery. He says, if life a highway, feel like I'm doing a dash.
Doing a dash.
Now, doing a dash? That's not a Sunday drive. That's urgency. That's panic.
It's frantic. And think about the word dash. It's a double entendre, really. In one sense, yeah, he's speeding. But in the context of a life, the dash is usually that little line on a tombstone, right?
Oh, wow.
Between the birth date and the death date. It's your whole existence. So doing a dash implies he feels like he is sprinting through his own life, just rushing toward the end.
That is a haunting way to look at it. He's trying to get through the dash as fast as possible.
Or maybe he feels the dash is just slipping away from him. He immediately pairs that speed with the fear of the outcome. He asks, what I'm going to do when I crash.
Not if, but when. That stood out to me immediately. He sees the crash as inevitable.
That's the key insight here. He believes the crash is coming because he admits he isn't living God's way. In his worldview, speed without alignment equals discussion. It's simple physics to him.
You go that fast without steering, you hit the wall. It's that feeling of losing control. You're pressing the gas pedal to the floor because you feel like you're running out of time, which brings us to the specific trigger for this panic.
Mm-hmm.
He drops a line about his age that I think a lot of people, myself included, will latch onto. He says, feel like I just turned 30 now. That's deep in the past.
It resonates, doesn't it?
It does, but also, come on. He's talking about 30 like it's ancient history. He says, I'm afraid of getting too old for facing my peak. Is this just melodrama, or is there something real here?
Oh, it's very real. It's what psychologists might call peak anxiety. It's particularly acute in, performative industries like music or sports, but it applies everywhere now. We have this cultural obsession with the 30 under 30 lists.
Yeah.
The narrative is that if you haven't made it by 30, you've missed the boat.
So 30 feels like a cliff edge. You fall off and you're just irrelevant.
Precisely. And the text highlights the disorientation of it. He says, every birthday make me feel like life been moving too fast. It's a crisis of productivity versus purpose.
He's moving fast, doing a dash, but he's terrified. He's just burning fuel without actually going anywhere meaningful.
Yes. He's measuring his life in years, but he feels he should be measuring it in impact. And for him, the math isn't adding up.
And he even mentions that it's hard to sustain success when he gets it. He says, when my life get on the roll, I end up breaking the streak.
That's the self-sabotage element. A streak implies consistency, discipline. Breaking it suggests that as soon as things get good, he does something to dismantle it.
Like he's uncomfortable with stability.
Exactly.
Which forces us to ask, why? If you're winning, why break the streak? And I think the text answers this by moving inward. This leads us to the next layer, and this is where it gets really psychological. The mirror and the mask.
This is pivotal. The text moves from the highway outside to the mirror inside.
He describes this moment looking in the mirror. He sees all this guilt within my vision, but then he contrasts it immediately. He says, on the outside, I'm straight.
Right.
Now, for anyone not familiar, straight here just means
Wait.
good, right, okay.
Right. Straight means composed, handled, no drama. He's presenting a face of calm.
So he's wearing a mask. But then he uses this specific phrase that I found really puzzling at first. He says his outside appearance don't match the imperial.
The imperial. It is a fascinating choice of words. It really doesn't fit the typical vernacular of, a street track.
It sounds fancy, like an empire.
In this context, and knowing the artist's background, imperial refers to a higher state of being, kingdom status. Think of it as his God self or his highest self. It suggests royalty, sovereignty, authority.
Okay, so let me see if I have this right. He's saying his outside looks straight or normal, but it doesn't match the imperial, meaning it doesn't match the greatness he feels he should be displaying.
Exactly. There's a three-way disconnect. There's how he feels inside guilty, how he looks to the world okay, and who he knows he is supposed to be imperial.
Wow.
And living in that gap creates massive cognitive dissonance. He feels like a king wearing a peasant's disguise, but inside the disguise, he feels like a criminal.
That is a heavy load to carry. And he knows it. He says he is doing everything God hates, even though he knew all the laws to abide to.
And this is what's so frustrating about the human condition, isn't it? It's not an ignorance problem.
We know the stove is hot. We touch it anyway. Why?
The text offers a powerful metaphor for this. He talks about the vehicle of righteousness.
I love this visual. It ties right back to the highway theme.
He says he was in this vehicle, moving, until I wrecked it. But notice the agency there? He didn't get hit. He didn't get a flat tire. He wrecked it. And he admits, I left it.
It sounds like a deliberate ejection, like he tucked and rolled out of a moving car. And he actually gives us the why right after.
Yes, he does.
She says, I don't ask for much because I got issues with rejection.
That is the skeleton key for this whole section. Issues with rejection.
Connect the dots for us. How does a fear of rejection lead to wrecking your own car?
It's a preemptive strike. If you are terrified of rejection, you often reject yourself first. Think about it. If I wreck the vehicle of righteousness, myself, then I don't have to wait for God or society or my family to kick me out of it.
You take control.
You take control by destroying the very thing you value. It's better to be the author of your own disaster than the victim of someone else's judgment.
That is tragic. It's self-preservation through self-destruction.
It is. He says he's hoping I'm still protected despite these flaws. It's a plea for safety amidst his own self-inflicted chaos. He wants the crash because he caused it, but he also wants the airbag to deploy.
So we have this internal war. But this isn't happening in a vacuum. He's not just a guy in a room. He's a son, and he's a father.